city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lou got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lou, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody Lou, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtics screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody Lou right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney.
That was a bad pop. Oh well. Episode 40, Woody Lou, Sports and You. And I'm happy that we have the legal disclaimer. I'm happy every single week we have the legal disclaimer, but that's going to be especially appropriate for this episode, Braxton. And we'll get into that later on. But first, it's been a minute. How are you?
Doing well, Dan. I'm happy to be here for episode 40, the big 40. You know, this is a milestone episode.
Yeah, it's big.
It's a bad pop for a great show. I'm fired up to be here. We have a lot to catch our listeners up on what we've been up to off camera. I think it's going to be a good show.
I think it's going to be good too. How about we get the sports, the Woody Lou Sports and You part of WLS&Y out of the way, and then we get into what we really want to talk about. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good, Dan.
All right. Dog days of summer, Major League Baseball. Braxton, what do you got?
Yeah, since our last episode, we've had the All-Star break in baseball, the Home Run Derby, the All-Star game, trade deadline quickly coming to an end here soon. It's just that part of the season where I feel like after the All-Star break until the postseason, baseball kind of hits its dog days as people anticipate the arrival of football, fall camp, preseason, and then the NFL and college season starting. But I still keep track of the Braves. I don't watch every game. I watch whenever I get the chance. Typically, I get tuned in around the seventh inning. But the Braves, for me, I've never seen a team that's maintained the lead in NL East all season stink as bad as the Atlanta Braves.
I mean, yeah, they're still like the top team in the NL, and I haven't watched much Braves baseball, even though I do get it on local TV here in Nashville. But you just keep on telling me how bad they stink.
They stink. They were bragging today about their AAA lineup tonight consisted of Ronald Acuna Jr., Hai-Sung Kim, Sean Murphy, McCutcheon, who we picked up a couple weeks or months back. It's just we stink. Hai-Sung Kim making the money he does and just going down and playing in the minor league is bananas. Sean Murphy, we give up Jonah Heim for Sean Murphy to come back, get re-hurt. He's on his thousandth rehab assignment. I'm not impressed. I think this team ends up being a wild card team and are lucky to make it to anything of validity in the postseason.
So they're not. Are they making it past the wild card game? No chance.
I don't think so.
Well, I have a lot to say on the Red Sox, my beloved Red Sox, and I was not watching any of their baseball up until about 3 weeks ago when they started their historic 15-game winning streak that ran from July 3rd to July 22nd, an unreal month for the Red Sox. Braxton, have you been watching the Sox?
I kept up with them. I even texted you while I was at Disney to make sure that you were aware of what your Sox were up to. I'm happy for them. I mean, I guess you could say they're my American League team. But no, great. It's the best in franchise history.
Tied for the 1946 team that had a 15-game winning streak, and that team won the AL pennant and featured future Hall of Famers Ted Williams and Bobby Doerr. It's been incredible, and I remember I was down bad on the Red Sox. They were, I think they were 15 games out or something of the wild card, like well below 500. And I texted a group of my high school buddies on Thursday, June 24th or 5th, because that Thursday they were starting a 5-game series against the New York Yankees at Fenway Park. And I texted to them. I was like, yeah, just take the Red Sox out back and end it. Like, this is it. The season is over. They're going to get swept by the Yankees at home. Like, this team is lethargic. They stink. They're not playing good baseball. They go ahead. I eat my hat because they sweep the Yankees that Thursday through Sunday 4-game series, including a Sunday night baseball game. And they won. I mean, other than Sunday night, that was 5-4. I have the schedule up right now, but they won 6-3, 6-1, 4-1. So kind of throttled the Yankees. Then they host the Nationals for a 3-game set where they lose that series. And then it starts the road trip on July 3rd. That started the 15-game win streak against the Angels. And I mean, this team, like there's a lot of close games. Pitching was really the difference, both starting pitching and relief. The bullpen played incredibly, holding on to really close games. I think 8 of the 15 came by 3 runs or fewer. And they played really good defense and had contributions from everyone. There wasn't like any particular player that, I mean, they all kind of got hot, but just an unreal season turnaround where they are now above 500. They have a wild card position. And I think the latest statistics are that they are at an 84, Baseball Reference, 84% chance to make the playoffs.
It's a phenomenal turnaround, and those are the type of turnarounds you see during the dog days of summer when people stop paying attention as much as they do early on, and that's the time for teams to get complacent. So then hungry teams like your Boston Red Sox have the opportunity to go on a big July swing.
So I thought that these like win streaks were a lot more common, but there's only a handful of teams that have 15 plus consecutive games won in the expansion era. Do you want to take, I think this is going to be fun. Do you want to take some guesses as to what those teams were? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of them in the year. If you can do the season too, that would be very impressive.
I'm not going to be able to do season, but I'll do team. Dodgers.
No. 50 is 15 plus.
Okay. Yeah, and the best team in baseball the last like 3. Yankees.
Nope.
Rays.
Nope.
Blue Jays.
Nope.
Just not doing the Braves.
Start going down the East Coast.
My Atlanta Braves.
Yep. 2000. They won 15 games.
Philadelphia Phillies.
Nope.
Astros.
Nope.
So see, I'm trying to name teams that have been good recently, or really, I mean, since. Okay, let me go.
I think it just
crazy one here.
shows how difficult it is to win that many games in a row.
No, it's nuts. I mean, I just named off the Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies, Astros.
We got some from the
They're
chat.
all
Miss
four
Amy
good.
Lewis. Hey, Miss Amy Lewis. She says the Pirates. The Pirates are not one of those teams.
And there is no rhyme or reason now. I mean, the Rangers.
Nope. You want me to just go through them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right. In 2017, the then Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians, won 22 games. That's the longest win streak in MLB history, at least the expansion era. Next, 2002 Athletics won 20. That was Miguel Tejada, if you remember that. 2021 Cardinals won 17 games in a row. 1977 Royals won 16. And the next four teams all won 15 games in a row. 2026 Red Sox, 2001 Mariners, 2000 Braves, and the 91 Twins.
It's a hodgepodge group. Really no.
No.
Yeah, it's difficult to do.
So yeah, no, it's super exciting time. Like I watched the game today. The Red Sox, they beat the Blue Jays. They won the series. Beautiful day at Fenway Park, and Fenway is buzzing. There is Boston after the World Cup, Tartan Army, Team Scotland, now the Red Sox. It is a great time to be in Boston and being a Boston sports fan.
It definitely is. I'm happy that you are getting to share the success, and hopefully that success segues into this fall with your New England Patriots up there in Foxborough.
Yeah, camp opened with the New England Patriots. Do you want to talk NFL?
Yeah, that's my segue into the other part of the sports, the football.
Okay, perfect. Take it away.
No, I mean, we're playing off of dog days of summer. You get excited for the football season. I've already gone through the whole getting on YouTube and watching old Kentucky football games. Heck, I watched like the Florida Gators' best moments since 2000 the other day. I'm not even a Florida fan, but I just found myself just going down rabbit holes of watching games and watching moments.
Was that mainly Tebow, like Percy Harvin highlights?
Tebow. I mean, the whole 2007, 2008. Like,
yeah.
They don't have it a lot recently. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's that part. We had SEC Media Days, which I don't know about you, Dan. Since we are aspiring media members, I really eat up the SEC Media Days. And since I've been on leave from work, I was able to fully immerse myself. Not while it was happening due to, travel and family, but I've watched every coach's press conference on YouTube, several of the players' interviews from Media Days down there in Tampa. I wish I could have crossed paths with them while I was down there. So obviously football as a whole, NFL, college, I'm excited for SEC football, specifically with the Kentucky Wildcats and the Kaylee's Crimson Tide. I'm keenly tuned into. And really one thing that I've noticed going through the SEC Media Days and listening to all the coaches, I think now more than ever, the SEC has gotten so big, and, they're already trying to, like, test some waters about doing their own thing because they are the SEC. These coaches, these personalities, and like Greg Sankey a little bit too at the helm. Like, I think the SEC is going to turn into a reality show of personalities.
It is a reality show. It's on Netflix. Did you watch that Netflix show?
That's fair. That was, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
It's getting to a point where it's like it's not just random games. There's like so many storylines and personal, and probably as part of the world being more connected via social media and all that, but the coaches and just the personalities in SEC this year are insane. I'm really excited for the year.
So coming out of Media Day, I did not watch all of the interviews. You're a real diehard, which I appreciate, but I know there was a soundbite from Lane Kiffin's interview saying that he regretted how he left Ole Miss. I feel like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But this is just wash, rinse, and repeat from Lane Kiffin. He leaves a place and it goes terrible for him, just awful optics. I hope he gets a new publicist like each time he does this, because whoever his like PR person is either is an idiot or he just doesn't listen to, and then he just apologizes at media days. Like, yeah, that wasn't the best way to handle that. It's like, Lane, this isn't your first rodeo.
Well, Lane's off social media now. His son was able to persuade him to get off social media by telling him that he couldn't do it. One of the media members, they asked Lane about his departure, and he went on his whole whatever, like, it's not a holier than thou, but like, he's above board and trying to be a different character. But then one media member asked him, I don't remember if it was SEC Mike or if he asked him a wild question too. Essentially, they laid out, I think it was SEC Mike, he laid out all this success he had at Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, like, you had this many All-Americans, this many wins, blah, 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 blah. Now, in your Vogue article, you told them that it was hard for you to succeed in Ole Miss long-term due to the racism and how essentially racist Oxford is and Mississippi as a whole. Are you here to say that you're going to do that plus some at LSU due to the lack of racism, whatever? I'm paraphrasing here. And he was able to turn that question and his response into talking about his parents passing and that we all die and not to hold on to every word and we die. It went a couple different directions. I implore you to go back and use the 30 minutes to watch the whole thing. But it was a President Trump level weave of an answer. There's a lot of bobbing and weaving going on.
All right, I'm definitely.
I don't really know if he got back to the starting point. Like I wasn't. Yeah, it's worth watching. All of those are worth watching the full interview because with the sound bites, you really lose. You obviously lose context, but you kind of lose like how they got to that point.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, these people have. I'm assuming most of them have speechwriters, but they get their opening monologue. And seeing the different approaches to the opening monologue that the different coaches took, I just found to be hilarious. And I wish I was able to have the opportunity to have an opening monologue at SEC Media Days because I would go in some wild directions. That would really
okay, well, producer note, episode 41, Would You Lose Sports and You, we will give Braxton an opening monologue. So that will be for next episode.
Okay.
I'm excited to see where that goes. But no, I love myself some Joey Freshwater. I have a question. So his son got him off social media. His son's supposed to be a pretty stud. Is he in high school? Is he a high school football player?
He's a junior in high school.
Is he playing at was it Newman? Is that where the Mannings played?
I'm not sure. He was at Oxford High School, and then I don't know what the name of the high school is he's at now in Baton Rouge.
Okay. Well, let's if you're okay with it, it's not too soon to start looking at least like September matchups. Are there any games that you're especially looking forward to? I think that LSU Ole Miss game on September 19th. That's probably the best game in September. The inflection in my voice makes that a question.
It's a good game, not the best.
What's the best game?
That's a good game, not the best game. The best game, I think on paper, the best game is going to be the Texas-Ohio State game.
Yeah.
But the best game in our hearts is going to be Kalen DeBoer starting back-to-back seasons with true road losses to quality opponents in Lexington, Kentucky on September 12th, which will officially be the first win for Will Stein as SEC head coach in a conference victory, and will be the first time Kentucky's beaten Alabama since 99, I believe, late 90s.
Wow. First time.
in over 25 years.
Dang.
So
It's going to
that's
happen.
be
September
nice
12th, Lexington. Some other games we got Clemson at LSU on September 5th.
Nothing over.
Boise State at
Well,
Oregon.
that LSU Clemson. Are you for Lane? Like, even if you're a Lane hater, you got to cheer for Lane over Dabo, right?
You got to shoot for Joey Freshwater over Dabo. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm saying.
As much as like Lane Kiffin, like he just like burns these teams and leaves them in just like, you know, a fiery dust. Like it's hard to dislike Lane Kiffin.
I would take him in a heartbeat to be my head coach. Even though I know exactly how the relationship will end, I still want him.
Yeah. We got this is interesting. I might go to this game. I didn't realize it was in Nashville. Louisville at Ole Miss, September 6th. I'm assuming that's on Nissan. We got Wisconsin, Notre Dame at Green Bay, September 6th. That's going to be awesome. Ohio State, Texas. Oklahoma plays Michigan in the Big House on September 12th. Then we got Missouri at Kansas. The only reason I bring that up is because that's in London. Or sorry, Arizona State. Wait, I think I have the schedule messed up. Arizona State at Kansas is in London.
You have a game. There's games in London, Ireland, Brazil. They're all over the place this year.
I know it's UNC plays TCU, I think week 0 in Ireland. I know that's definitely a game. This is a weird matchup. Arizona State.
Something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't get the college football expansion overseas. And just let me say my piece. NFL doing it in theory makes sense because there is a world where expansion NFL team goes to Canada, Mexico, even though it would be absolutely bananas as far as travel goes. Like there is a world like London was able to get an NFL team.
I think London's getting an NFL team. It's going to happen.
I grant you all of those things.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, that's not happening with the NCAA or college. 2, outside of like Notre Dame versus Boston College in Ireland.
College, yeah.
Like Notre Dame, Boston College in Ireland, that makes sense from the Catholic standpoint. Outside of that, I just don't get the college overseas thing. Personally.
I was just gonna say that in my again, this is probably selfish bias, but it only makes sense for Notre Dame to play in Ireland because of the Irish like tourism, like in like their whole. They had a huge campaign of Irish descendants coming back to the motherland, and it absolutely makes sense for Notre Dame, Boston College. But I think like did Georgia Tech played like Miami last year in Miami. Like what a bizarre matchup at Aviva Stadium.
Was it Georgia Tech in Miami? It was Georgia Tech for sure.
Maybe it wasn't.
Miami. It was Georgia Tech versus Kansas State.
That's right. Georgia Tech against Kansas State. That's a bizarre matchup.
Yeah. It's random, like who from Manhattan? I mean, I'm sure there's Irish people or Kansas State fans, but we're just looking big picture, like Atlanta and Manhattan, Kansas, going to Ireland for a football game. Just doesn't make sense.
And then another game I want to bring up, and this is close to the Lewis household, and I want to get a prediction. We'll do a big like more pre-college football prediction show, but I got this one circled. Florida State at Alabama. The Seminoles have given the Tide fits in recent years.
Yeah, I think Alabama wins that game, but I don't put it past Kalen DeBoer to lose that game. I don't think Florida State's going to be good at all this year.
No, don't think so.
No. I don't know if Alabama's going to be good this year. Alabama and their coach, who has the personality of this table that I'm doing this show from, he did not win anyone over at media days. Alabama was an afterthought. I don't know if they truly know who their quarterback is going to be long term. I have no faith and confidence in Alabama football under Kalen DeBoer.
Do you think, like, the criticism Kalen DeBoer got when he had never coached in the SEC at like assistant coach or anything, is that coming back to bite the tide with that hiring?
I don't think you have to necessarily coach in the SEC. For example, like Kentucky just hired Will Stein, who has coaching stops or GA positions in Louisville, Texas, Oregon, most notably. But he just came in, he gets it. I'm trying to think, like, same for John Summerall's assistant coach. But regardless, it's not that you have to have SEC experiences. You just have to understand your fan base. It's this Kalen DeBoer. Okay, they went to the college football playoff. They won a game in college football playoff last year. I hear all of that, but I just think there's too much writing on the wall that Kalen DeBoer, his tree, his background is not meant for Alabama. Alabama right now would be far more suited to have your Kurt Signetti, listen to media days, like John Summerall, Florida's new head coach. Like, that guy's an Alabama head coach. No nonsense. Knock your block off. It's my way or the highway. There's the door. Like, that's an Alabama head coach.
It's very Nick Saban.
Yeah, like Kalen DeBoer just comes off, and maybe he's not. He just comes off super just soft, and I don't think he'll have the skin for the long game. But also in Kalen's defense, the next guy is going to have a lot easier time following up Kalen DeBoer than Kalen DeBoer had following up Nick Saban.
Yes.
That's also true.
That's absolutely true. I get why you take. There's many, many, zeros and commas as to why Kalen DeBoer took that job, but I would not want to follow up Nick Saban.
Kalen DeBoer had one legitimate good season with Michael Penix, and that's really his calling card right there. I mean, it was a safe hire.
Yeah.
It was a safe post-Nick hire that wasn't going to ruffle too many feathers.
Yep. Now, staying on sports topics, I think we would be negligent as a purported sports entertainment podcast if we did not talk about LeBron James and his free agent signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. I know NBA is not Woody and Lou's bread and butter on Woody Lou Sports and You, but I mean, once again, the NBA finds a way to dominate sports headlines when there are no games of consequence being played and won't be played for another 4 months.
Like, LeBron goes back to Miami or Cleveland, and immediately everyone's like, all right, that makes sense. Like, good for you. Go retire, King. Like, thank you for the memories. The 76ers move is bananas. Like, yes, their roster is absolutely juiced. There's only one basketball on the court at a time. It's I don't know. I just don't know why he would do that. I guess he really wants to win another ring that bad, but that ring will always be tainted. And the biggest thing that the Michael Jordan versus LeBron James crowd goes to is championship rings, which I don't think championship rings necessarily mean you're a better player. But when you start looking at it, it's like, well, LeBron or Michael won all of his rings in Chicago, and now let's say LeBron goes and wins one in Philadelphia. It's like, well, look at the rings that he was able to acquire in Miami by getting this huge team together in one location, and then goes to Philadelphia where they have a roster full of all-stars. It just taints it a little bit. Like, go back to Cleveland, go back to Miami, and just close it out.
I don't think it's going to work. I think Embiid's going to get hurt. He gets hurt every single year. He's going to get hurt. Jaylen Brown, at least like what I've read and like my understanding is that he wanted out of Boston because he wanted to be Batman. Like he did not want to be, Robin or even like the co-hero with Jason Tatum. He wanted his own thing, his own team. And now, like, is he not only Robin, he's like, I don't know, one of the, like, who's the stupidest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? He's like Master Shredder or something with Joel Embiid, LeBron James, and Maxey. Like, Jaylen Brown is like almost an afterthought in Philly. So he's not going to like that.
Jaylen Brown, yeah.
he's going to be a problem for the locker room in that situation. It's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work. And what's Bronny do now? Like, he signed the contract. Is Bronny just like
he's part of FaZe Clan, Braxton? Don't you understand? He's got a contract with FaZe Clan. You know about that, right?
Bronny does?
Oh, Bronny's a professional gamer. He's got a contract with FaZe Clan. I'm shocked you didn't know this. What's that?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
What video game does he play?
I want to say like League of Legends.
As an NBA owner, I would not allow any of my players to be professional video gamers.
Do you remember back in like the late 2000 aughts? I forget. I think it was a Z. It was not Zambrano, but it was some big reliever on the Tigers who threw like 101, 102, and he got carpal tunnel from playing too much Guitar Hero, and he was never the same again. Here, I need to look this up. I'm going to find this right now.
I love Guitar Hero.
Detroit. What was your song?
Guitar Hero is the only video game. Painted Black was my favorite.
That's good.
And the Guitar Hero 3, I think it was. Guitar Hero is the only video game I played to a level where like my mom had to be like, "Hey Braxton, put it down. Like go touch some grass." Like I was pretty disciplined in playing for like an hour or two and getting off. Like Guitar Hero, dude, I was done. I was obsessed. I couldn't stop playing Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero was awesome, and I found it. It was Joel. I was right with a Z. Joel Sumaya. He actually got hurt during the 2006 postseason, and it sidelined him during the ALCS.
Just banging Guitar Hero.
He injured his wrist and his forearm.
He was getting after it.
He denied it in 2016. He said that's not true. But in 2006, then Tigers GM Dave Dombrowski said he got hurt playing Guitar Hero. That's a lot of Guitar Hero.
Threw one of the bus.
Yeah. I'm not very good at video games, but I could never get the orange, the pinky.
The orange pinky. But orange.
We got a Gigi appearance.
It's the fifth string.
Yeah, it was the.
Yeah, I don't know what she's. She's trying to steal the show. She's
a show stealer. Are we gonna finish up or what do you say?
No, we're good. She's just I don't know what Kaylee just handed her to me, and Kaylee's leaving the house. So I don't know what's happening. We're gonna continue on as if it's not happening.
Hi, Gigi. Oh, she saw me. That's awesome. Yeah. It's a fun show. Woody Lou Sports and you. We got to add a G to that. GG.
We're a family show.
That's right. Yeah. I know Miss Patsy's watching. I've been pretty good on not cussing. However, moving into this next segment of the show, there might be some cussing. There definitely was some cussing when it went down. But Braxton, I'm going to let you introduce this, and I will chime in as it happened to me.
Well, where do we start? So we set the stage a couple weeks ago when we talked about Tommy McCullough and delivery.
Mm-hmm.
I was charged. Dan requested that I be his Tommy McCullough. I be Braxton McCullough for Dan. It was some growing pains. Tommy McCullough, a couple of differences. He charges $1,000. I charge $0. Tommy McCullough makes you do a consultation before he starts calling. Dan just gave me 3 specs and a make and model. He didn't give me any quotes. He had the trade in. He didn't give me any quotes from CarMax or Carvana. I asked for quotes, and he ended up sending me random used car Mavericks. And I was like, "What is this?" He's like, "Quotes." I was like, "I don't care. I need quotes on your car." I found a couple in Nashville, called a dealership in Nashville, made my first critical error. So Tommy McCullough, when he does it, he just says his name's Tommy McCullough. I decided to just completely impersonate Dan Woodhouse by saying my name was Dan Woodhouse. And
why did you go
it
that?
didn't go anywhere.
You get nervous?
No, I didn't get nervous, but I don't know. He just asked, and I didn't think the guy didn't instill confidence in me because he was doing the typical sell. He did the same. I thought I was watching a Tommy McCullough video because everything he was saying is what every salesman says when I watch those videos. Same script.
So you should have been.
So I just said my name was Dan. I was, but that was my first call I had made, and I don't know. Maybe I folded under the pressure, and I didn't want to have the conversation. I'm passing it off to a friend. I just thought it was Dan Woodhouse, like whatever.
All right.
Didn't get any numbers with that guy because the truck ended up being spoken for by the time we got to the brass tacks. Anyway, so I keep looking. Dan was looking for a Ford Maverick. I made the decision that he needs a new one, mainly because the 3 specs he requires are only in the 2025 and up models. Really no business in finding a used 2025, so we should need to find a new 25 or 26. Dan wanted the all-wheel drive tow package hybrid.
Yep.
Which is a unicorn. You can get 2 of those 3. Getting all 3 is very difficult. I did Dan one better by finding him all 3 plus a sunroof plus a 2025 model that had great savings. And it just so happened to be sold at a dealership from my hometown where I was familiar with people who worked within the dealership. So the whole thing made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I send Dan the truck. I say, Dan, do you like this truck? Dan says, I love the truck. Get me numbers.
Yep.
I call the guy. I call a salesman. I said, hey, I'm Braxton, looking for a truck for my business partner, blah, blah. He's in the Army. He looks the truck up. We work some numbers. I get a price sheet. I get a starting point. I send it to Dan. Dan's like, I need a better deal. I said, all right. I call the guy back. I said, hey, I need a better deal. And we wanted to be about $1,200 cheaper than where we were out the door. Dan was willing to go. I think it was probably, if you do the math, like we wanted $1,200. He's the one to take $600 more off to where he would be at a point to buy the vehicle. So I called back, asked for $1,000 off, ended up getting like $7. We were at a price point that Dan had told me, Braxton, if you get to this price point out the door, I'm buying the vehicle.
Yeah, I'm driving.
Couple notes about this. Vehicle's 4 hours away from Nashville. The price point I got to him out the door included taxes, which Dan is not required to pay.
Nope.
Based off his designation as an active duty service member stationed at Kentucky as an out-of-state resident of the Commonwealth. So in reality, with the tax exemption, I had Dan an extra $2,000 below what he wanted, what he was willing to pay. So it was a phenomenal deal. Phenomenal deal.
I thought I was having a new truck. Deal. I was so excited.
I did my job as the
Braxton McCullough.
My broker. I did my job as Tommy would like. The difference between me and Tommy is Tommy has a guy who handles the next phase of the operation. Tommy gets the price, and then he has a guy who helps the buyer, in this case Dan, get to the finish line with the finance office. Couple notes. I told the salesman a couple things. I told the salesman who Dan was going to finance with. I told him who Dan was going to finance with. The guy concurred that the bank that Dan was financing with was going to have a better rate than he could offer him than either local banks or even the Ford manufacturer APR special offer for 60 months. The USA, the bank was better. Not an ad for USA, but they had a better offer. So he knew that we were financing with USAA. I brought up the tax situation on the phone and over text after we got the final numbers. I sent another reminder saying, "Hey, look into it with your guy. I don't think Dan will have to pay this." He's like, "I don't know. I think he does." I was like, "I don't," but no longer was it my fight. That was $2,000. It was a handover to Dan, and I told Dan in the handover, like, "Hey, I've brought this up. He knows it's like on our mind. You're the lawyer. Dan is the resident attorney who he's smarter at understanding that stuff. I come to Dan with tax questions, so like this was just me saying, "Hey, Dan, I'm an idiot when it comes to taxes, and this doesn't smell right. Look into it."
Yeah.
So of course, Dan looks into it. I was right. Dan did not have to pay that $2,000. Anyway, Dan and salesman connect. Dan calls me at like 5 when he gets off work. He's like, "The guy didn't answer." And I called.
Yeah, so I'll jump in. So I had been Braxton did the handoff, so I had the number of the salesman, and we're texting back and forth. I'm sending him documentation. I sent him my USAA certified pre-approval. I sent him my current insurance, my license. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm pretty busy right now at work, but I will be available at 5:00 Central Daylight Time on Friday. Just to, hey, whatever you need. I'm coming up tomorrow. I'm ready to buy this car." And I call him, leave a message, and Braxton, you take over.
All I know is Dan calls me at about 5:15. I say, "Dan, why are you calling me? You should be on the phone with this guy." I told the salesman, "Hey, you might have to work after hours. He's probably going to be most likely available between 6 and 8 Eastern.
Yep.
Your local time." He's like, "All right, I got you too." Well, me and Dan talk on the phone for 30 minutes on his way home, and at no point did Dan hang up on me because he had to talk to the salesman about, setting. If I'm the salesman and I have a guy who is buying a new truck for me, not like, "Hey, I'm coming to look at trucks." Like, "Hey, this stock number, this truck, we have a price sheet. I have shaken over the phone hand with you. I'm coming to buy this truck. I'm driving 4 hours from Nashville to small town to buy a truck. I am guaranteeing that you will make a paycheck tomorrow." So the fact that he didn't get put to bed by the salesman, I thought was a little weird. If I was a salesman, I'm putting you to bed because that's money in my pocket. I wake up at 4:35 in the morning Saturday. I text Dan and say, "Wake up, it's time to buy a new truck." I was the salesman. I wasn't making any money. I put Dan to bed. I woke Dan up. "Go get your truck, dude. Awesome day. You're about to buy a new truck for a great deal."
Yes.
Dan was about to buy a new truck and have a $200 payment. What are we talking about? This is just it's a great day.
I was so excited.
It was a great day. Dan gets on the road. I wake up. I'm walking the dog. We're talking on the phone. He's going to Buc-ee's. And I'm like, "Dan, have you heard from the guys yet?" And he's like, "No, I haven't." He's like, "Oh, I got a text." So you get a text. You tell me you're going to hang up. Now, Dan, you take over. You get a phone call from the salesman. This is where things start to go a little gray.
Yeah. So I get a phone call from the salesman. I've probably been on the road from Nashville to Kentucky for probably 50 minutes, maybe an hour. And we start talking, and I'm like, "Hey man, what do you need from me? I've sent you the loan pre-approval, my proof of insurance, my license. I have $2,100 in cash because you won't take my check or whatever, like sort of like a wire transfer. So I got approval to extend my daily ATM withdrawal limit so I could take out $2,100 in cash. So I have my leave and earning statement from the military. I have my orders to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I feel like I have everything primed and ready to go for this brand new 2025 Ford Maverick to be waiting for me in the front of this dealership, ready for me to drive away. Yes, Braxton.
You also, we had already set the battlefield about the tax situation. And Dan wasn't just showing up as a customer demanding the taxes get waived. Dan did their legwork of finding the Tennessee and Kentucky codes, getting copies of those so that it would be a discussion between him and the finance manager of like, hey, this is what this says if you're not going to give. Like, he was prepared to have a conversation and do recourse, even though that was going to take more time. Like, you did the legwork on
So yeah, I printed out, and I'm gonna actually we're gonna clip this because, and this is not legal advice. We're gonna clip that too, that disclaimer. But this is super helpful for any soldier, service member. Hopefully, we have as a listener that is stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And this is a quick 3 steps for them if they buy a vehicle in either Tennessee or Kentucky about their military exemption. So I'm going to do that in a minute. But I also printed out, not only did I print out the state code and both revenue codes for Kentucky and Tennessee, but I also printed out the Kentucky Dealer's Manual that talks specifically about out-of-state sales and how to process an out-of-state sale. So I did my homework. Yes, I am a licensed attorney, so I understand this stuff. But this is where it starts to going south. So I get on the phone and he's like, hey man, like we need a certified approval, like a certified letter from USAA that your loan's been approved. And I'm very confused by this because I have a pre-approval for up to $45,000, but they're saying that that's not good. And I'm trying to tell them, like, no, like I have the app. We're going to go through the app together once the price sheet is finalized. Like, I need to come in because the price sheet's not finalized. Yeah, Braxton, come in.
The document Dan sent to me and to the dealership had USAA logo top left with their address and phone number, big large blue letters in top right said loan approved. Next thing says to Dan Woodhouse address, United States Army. Congratulations on your approval of X amount of dollars on a vehicle loan valid until September 15th, 2020, whatever. It would have fooled me.
So the sales guy is now telling me, like, no, he needs to say the make and the model and reflect the price sheet. And I'm just like, no, it doesn't matter. I'm approved for more than the car is worth. Like, we're good to go here. Like, we just got to agree on final numbers, and agreement of those final numbers is on you to properly calculate the sales tax. So he's like, let me go talk to my finance manager. So I was like, you know what? Let's just save some time here right now. Like, if you could just put me direct to your finance manager, I think we can work this all out. So we had started going south. This is where the deal blew up. And I get on the phone with the sales or the finance manager, and oh boy, I'm a pretty pleasant person. Like, I am an attorney, but I'm not confrontational whatsoever. And this could have been one of the most rude, dismissive businessmen I have ever encountered, which was like insane. Because as Braxton mentioned, I have cash in hand. I am ready to give you my money. I'm not shopping. like, again, like Braxton said, like, we have a stock number. We know exactly what vehicle that I want. I don't even need a test drive. Like, I am going to take this, which clearly you've had trouble moving. It's a 2025 Ford Maverick. So I'm taking it off your inventory. So, and I apologize. I'm going to do a bad accent impression, and Braxton's probably going to make fun of me here.
Oh, dude.
But he gets on the phone and he's like, yeah, no, you got to have the certified letter from USAA. Now they're a great credit union, but your pre-approval, it won't do. I need money. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm pre-approved. All we got to do is go through the app, and they're going to ask for check or wire transfer, and you'll get your money. He's like, well, this is what I recommend. You got to pull over to the side of the road and get on the phone with USAA. I was like, okay, I'll do that. But I need an updated price sheet if what you're asking for is a letter with the make, model, and final price. And in order to get to that number, we need to talk about the sales tax. And he's like, well, you got to pay sales tax. And I was like, I don't think you understand. I don't. I'm exempt. And he's like, no, we got X amount of people on welfare here in Kentucky, and we all got to pay tax. And that's where he lost me. And I had pulled over at this point. I called Braxton, and Braxton, please, like, 'cause you're more mad than me at this point.
Well, I'm mad because it's personal to me, because I was directing you to where I am from, essentially. A couple things. And I didn't know, you're broke news to me. I didn't know that he made the comment, USA is a great credit union. Because if he would have said it to me, I would have said, oh, great, sir. You're aware of how USA operates when it comes to financing a vehicle. Now that you are aware, what you know is that I apply for a loan, they approve loan for X amount of dollars. Once I get to dealership, you know right now off this letter, I have $45,000 that Uncle Dan can do with it. If it's under $45,001, I can buy it on your lot. And what's going to happen, sir, is once we get there, and I again explain to you this tax situation, you're going to knock the $2,100 off the taxes. We're going to have that number. I'm going to go in my app. And this is what it's going to say. It's going to say accept loan. It's going to say name of dealership. Click, click, click. It's going to say make, model, VIN. Click, click, click. Insert finance total final amount. Click, click, click. Does this dealership want wire transfer or check? And you're going to say, hey, sir, do you want wire transfer or check? I'm on the USA app. We can go see this. He's going to say, I want wire transfer or check. You're going to click which one he wants, and then it's done. It's done. So he should have known that. It blows my mind, Dan. I've only gone shopping for a vehicle one time without a pre-approval, and that's when we got Kaylee's minivan. We get there, we see the minivan, we test drive it, we fall in love, and Kaylee looks at me, she's like, I need it.
Yep.
So I stood in the lobby of the dealership, got on my app, got my pre-approval, handed it to agreed on numbers, got my pre-approval, had worked with the salesman to do the app that I just explained. And by the time I got my pre-approval to walking out of the dealership was an hour.
Yeah.
Like in the car, headed to Chick-fil-A, an hour.
Yeah.
In
new minivan.
That upsets me one. In a new minivan. And what upsets me also is, and it's small towns giveth and they taketh, right? The charm of a small town cannot be overstated. But also devil's advocate, clearly he doesn't work with military often. Clearly this isn't a situation he deals with every day. But this is where I get upset. Every day of my life in the line of work I do, I am expected to deal with situations that I've never dealt with before. We, as citizens and employees of whatever company, are employed to deal with situations that we may not have ever dealt with before. But as long as it falls under the umbrella of what we are doing, we are expected to do that task.
Yeah.
You explaining, buying tax code manuals, whatever, to a finance manager in that state is within he needs to stop what he's doing, figure it out.
Yeah.
So you didn't ask him to go out of his way. You were driving, you're from Boston, driving from Nashville to the smallest town in Kentucky. Why, Dan? Oh, it's to buy a truck. It wasn't to go to the Kroger. It was to buy a truck. There's no more serious buyer than the guy from Boston living in Nashville driving 4 hours to a town with only a Kroger. There's no other reason but to buy the truck. Sell the truck. You want to give them your money. They say the Massachusetts check's no good. What do? You go to the bank, you get the money. What else do you want from me? But we're too busy. If you're too busy, close on Saturdays. Last I checked, if I'm a car salesman or a finance manager, if you walk in the doors between 9 in the morning to 5 p.m. when we close, if you walk in at 4:59 and 59 seconds, I'm not going home until I have sold you that vehicle. I don't care if it's 11 p.m.
Yeah. And that was another nail in the coffin. Like you brought it up.
care.
So I didn't say this, but also part of the conversation when I was like, well, I have all the tax documentation. Like I'm willing to talk this through with you. He's like, well, we're super busy today. Like you got to work this out with USAA. And he wouldn't even, and what kills me is
there's nothing to work out with USA. You have the money. You have the money. USA's irrelevant. They're the least we're worried about.
But the salesman who you told the salesman like what I do, and like I am a lawyer, and I think this is now an appropriate time. So this is what I was prepared to tell him, and this is what every service member at Fort Campbell, Kentucky should know. Again, not legal advice. This is just I can read. This is exactly what the Kentucky and Tennessee laws state. So Kentucky revised statute 138.460. That is the Kentucky state statute when it comes to motor vehicle usage tax. So Kentucky does not charge a sales tax. It charges a motor vehicle usage tax at 6% of the value of that transfer. And it is driven by where the vehicle is being titled and registered. So when someone buys a vehicle in Kentucky and immediately takes it across state lines to register. So like what I would have done, I would have immediately taken it, titled it, registered it in Tennessee. The Kentucky dealership should have processed this as an out-of-state sale. So the Tennessee sales tax would have applied, and they should do that, whatever system they have, it should have processed that, and it should have applied the Tennessee code. So under Tennessee code, section 67, tax 6, tax 303 is the Tennessee Department of Revenue's implementation guidance, which states that active duty service members stationed in Tennessee or at a military installation partially located in Tennessee are exempt from Tennessee sales and tax on qualifying motor vehicle purchases. Additionally, there is a note from the Tennessee Department of Revenue, and that is notice 07 tax 07. And that states that Fort Campbell service members are considered stationed in Tennessee in qualifying vehicles titled and registered in Tennessee or exempt. So by the operation of those three, the two pieces of legislation, and then the Tennessee Department of Revenue notice, a service member who buys a vehicle in Kentucky or Tennessee should not be charged sales tax.
So, and here's the thing. Dealerships, and this is why I talked about Tommy Makula and millionaire. This is why Tommy Makula is a millionaire. This right here is why he's a millionaire. Because he does it. And dealerships already violate FTC regulations every single day on their websites. Like every single day on their websites, they're violating NFTs. Most of them are, because there's very fine language on, price, advertise price, sales price, whatever. There's so many workarounds they do, but come on, they're playing. At the end of the day, if they would have just said from the start, hey, you know what? We don't, we're a small town dealership. We don't want to service an out-of-state sale. Like, that's just not something we're interested in. Thank you for your time. But from the first phone call, be told the entire situation, take on the deal, and then do this is crazy. 2, after you get done talking to the finance manager, he does what he should have done from the get-go. He does a Google search within 5 seconds, and then has the salesman text you and say, oh, man, turns out you're right. Can you please give us till Monday to get our ducks in a row? No, I'm halfway there, dude. Yeah. Get your ducks in a row in the next 2 hours before I get there. Your ducks in a row. This is the ducks in a row, sir. You already know where I'm titling the vehicle. You already have the zip code. You know the county. The only thing we haven't agreed on is the tax thing. On the way there, you can go ahead and say, you can send me a text, say, hey, Dan, we're taking the tax off. This is the final sales price. You say, cool, dude. As soon as you walk in, you go to the app, put in the final sales. We hadn't even test drive. We were sitting down. Here's the money. All right, the wizard in the back will be with you in 30 minutes. You sign a couple forms saying, yes, I understand. This is the sales price. Yes, I agree this is the odometer reading. Yes, I agree that I have insurance. Yes, I agree that after this leaves the lot, these are the warranties I'm guaranteed. These are warranties I'm not guaranteed. Thank you for your time. Here's your 2 sets of keys. Thank you for doing business with us. Let's take a photo. That's it.
Yeah. And I'll say this.
What's a sure thing?
What's that?
Well, I'm saying, like, if I've talked about on the show, I want to be a car salesman.
Yeah.
Right? When I get out of the Army, I want to be a car salesman. For me, the guy driving from Nashville who said, I'm coming to buy this truck today. I'm so serious. I'm driving from Nashville. You are my only priority that day. Who is more of a sure thing to put money and food on my table? The guy driving from Nashville who said, I'm coming to buy this truck. Here's a USA letter saying I have the money to do so. Or the people who it's a Saturday and they're window shopping and now you've done 6 test drives for nothing.
Yeah.
There's no world. And I know this dealership wasn't busy, dude. What you're in one sentence, you're telling me about all the people on welfare, but now everyone in your county who's on welfare is buying new vehicles today? What are we talking about, dude?
And I'll say this too, Braxton.
Pick one.
I'll say this. After that conversation with that finance manager, they could have dropped another $4,000, and I wasn't, out of principle, I was not going to give them my money. Well, he was so rude and so dismissive.
And in closing,
yes,
I sent a pretty aggressive text that you revised that you ended up sending over to the salesman, which was respectful, but got the point across. And for you not to get a text back is crazy.
Yeah.
What I never got a text back. Your jury's still out. I guarantee you, when that car hasn't moved by sometime next week, you get a text back saying, you know what, man, you were right on all that. Here's an updated have you found a truck yet? Here's an updated price sheet. We even knocked off another dealer discount of $1,500. Taxes are gone. I promise you can get that text. I promise
I hope so. We'll follow up on the next episode of Woody Lewis Sports and You. But we do have some chatter in the chat.
How silly you got to be. Hold on. You have a truck sold on Saturday. All you got to do is get the guy to drive the 2 hours, pray you don't get in an accident, just get here in 2 hours, I got a truck sold. And now you don't sell a truck this whole week. How stupid. How stupid. Move the truck. It's a 2025. It's almost 2029. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Move the truck.
Well, we do have some chatter in the chat on this. And actually, I think the biggest casualty of this experience was Miss Patsy, our #1 award-winning listener, who I was very excited to go visit in person. Miss Patsy, I appreciate you saying you're so sorry I went through this. It really wasn't that big a deal. It was just an hour of my time. I got a really good breakfast at Buc-ee's. I had some fun conversations with Braxton. But her theory is that they maybe sold it for more money, and that's why they gave me the runaround.
You know, I'm gonna get on their website tomorrow and see if it's still on there. You know, that's just not how you do business, man. That's not how you do business.
Yeah, I was looking forward. Braxton had a whole itinerary for me too, up in Kentucky. I was gonna have a great day in my new truck.
They didn't deserve your business. I told you I finished a Portnoy's book. I'm prepared to put them on a bottle of champagne for their downfall. Pop it.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna write. The dealership will not be named, but their name will be on a champagne bottle.
I'm gonna be in this town in a week, and I promise you, Dan,
can you please go and talk to the finance manager?
Going through their lot, showing you just how busy they are. And I can't wait to drive in that parking lot, see 4 salesmen standing there like vultures because they're so busy, and they're just following my car around. And I'm gonna say, I want to see is your finance manager too busy to talk? I need closure. I need closure from the finance manager. I got his name for you. I need closure from this guy. And I might go ahead and get pre-approved for you. I might call USA and get a new loan approval. And I'm going to go through the whole process. It's just show them. And then I'm going to walk out on it. I'm going to say, I'm going to pay over MSRP for this truck. And I'm going to say, you know what? I'm busy. I got to go, dude. Sorry about it.
Oh, if you could please do that to the finance manager, that would be poetic justice. I would love that.
I'm about to take your loan approval letter, Adobe change the name to me, and be like, hey, I got this letter. Is this good? I'm ready to buy. See what they say. Like, so stupid. So
yeah, it was quite a Saturday for yours truly. We do have some chatter. Mason McGregor, Braxton, he's he's confused by what is on your face.
Beautiful goatee that I acquired while on leave. That's what it is. So thank you for noticing. I miss you.
Yeah. And then Miss Patsy, I was excited to meet my buddy. Miss Patsy, I was really excited to meet you too. I was so excited to have a great Saturday, but it unfortunately this dealership that will not be named, they were, I would say, negligent, incompetent. There's probably a lot more words to describe this place that
I could lose all of my money. I could have all of my cars repoed. I could rebuild my wealth over a 15-year span and have enough money to buy a vehicle. And this dealership be the last dealership on earth that sells cars, and I would walk the rest of my life before I did business with the dealership.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to see. And like Braxton said, we'll follow up with probably on the socials. If I think Braxton's right. I think there will be a follow-up. And if that's the case, they are not going to see a dime of my hard-earned money.
And this is what I would do, Dan, if you just want to know, like, what would Braxton do?
Yes, I do. Please share.
If I got, because I'm trying to think of like what a salesman's going to do. They're going to text you like say they didn't sell it. They're going to text you like Tuesday or Wednesday and be like, have you found a truck? And you say, no. They're going to say, well, this one's still available, blah, blah. I know we had those issues. Like, I can talk to the GSM and get you down another $1,000. I would respond and say, LOL, you got to be bleeping kidding me. Here's what you're going to do for me if you want me to ever step foot in there. This is the price I'm going to walk out the door at. Make it happen. I'll be there. If not, lose my number.
Yeah.
Like, I would lowball them. It'd be an obnoxious number.
An obnoxious number.
It'd be so stupid. And like, you see how silly this is, dude? That's what you did to me. You were stupid to me. I'll be stupid to you. Now lose my number. You're blocked.
Oh, it's so good. I think on that note, Braxton, we're coming up on our 10 mark. That I think we're going to leave it there, and we'll follow up on the saga of Woody's Ford Maverick. But do you have any closing thoughts, Braxton?
I'm so excited to get moved to Kentucky next week. our next show will be contingent on. I'm homeless until next Thursday. Once I'm done being homeless until next Thursday, our next show will be contingent on, even if I don't have the house yet, just when do I get Wi-Fi?
Yep. We can
I
do
guess
it
I
off your
should
phone.
probably go ahead and say
We'll figure
we
it out.
can. I probably should go ahead. I know my address. I know the day I'm moving in. A responsible person would call tomorrow and go ahead and set those conditions.
Yeah.
So I got
You should set conditions for the internet.
just like I should probably start booking hotels for this week that I need. But I'll handle all that. Viewers aren't going to worry about it. It's my problem. I'll figure it out. But no, I'm excited to get moved to Kentucky. I'm excited for football season. I'm excited to bass fish with Mike Iaconelli himself. Dan Woodhouse didn't know he was. I didn't know I lived with Mike Iaconelli and Kevin Van Dam for a year.
No, we'll bring this up on the next episode. But no, I appreciate it, Braxton, and we're all wishing the best of luck to the Lewis family as they make the move from Georgia to Kentucky. This was episode 40, Woody Lou Sports and You. As always, share, like, subscribe, and download. We